How is your retirement savings going to grow? Keep watching to learn how retirement actually works and how you can make it work for you. Okay, so rule number one, I'm gonna adopt the rule number one that Warren Buffett gives, which is also his rule number two. He repeats it twice because it's so important. And this rule is also important for you, which is this: don't lose money. Now, no, this might sound common sense, but it's true. Don't lose money. If you want your retirement to actually work for you, keep it. It's not about how much you make, it's how much you keep and then make on top of it that really matters. So many times people think, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta go big or go home. And unfortunately, they have to go back home because they lost it all. They went big and lost big. They struck out. They didn't hit that home run, they struck out. The truth is, if you can hit base singles every time. This is like Moneyball, right? If you ever watched the movie with Brad Pitt, Moneyball, he talks about it's not about the big hitters, it's about getting on base. You need to get on base, and the first step to that is not losing money. It's not striking out. Unfortunately, there will be a lot of people out there telling you, hey, it takes high risk to create high returns, right? And especially if they're trying to get your money, they will tell you, take big risks. Why? Because they know that you'll be okay losing your money. And that's the truth. Many financial advisors will tell you, take high risk, get big returns. Are you willing to take big risks? Here, take this little risk, little risk assessment to see how much risk and how much money you're willing to lose. In my book, it doesn't matter how much money I have. I don't think I ever have enough money to lose money. Because here's the truth. Money represents a few things for me, and it should for you too. One, it represents time. Time invested in earning that money, for one. That's time and labor. And then two, it's also time lost. Because if you lose that money, that means you have to go and spend more time making it back. The best thing you could do, if you remember nothing else, is just make sure you don't lose money. That is key. I'll give you an example. One of our clients actually, it's amazing. I don't know how he did it, but he actually was investing in the stock market, but he just had this weird intuition of knowing when the market was gonna tank. So when Y2K was about to happen, he just said, you know what? I feel like pulling my money out of the market and moving to cash, money market type of funds. He did, market tanked, he didn't lose money. Then the Great Recession hit, right? We all remember that, that was pretty painful. That hit, he happened to just think in 2006, 2007, he said, I feel like I should move my money out of the stock market. He moves it out and then the market tanks. Now, while everybody else is losing money, he's at least just staying at zero. So they're losing money like crazy. He's making zero, but he didn't lose it. He actually had more money in his retirement account than most people I've seen. He had a better return because he didn't listen to financial advisors about holding on because you can't time it. Now, there's some truth to that. You probably can't time the market, so don't do that. Okay? Don't try to time the market, that doesn't work. So my number two advice would be is don't invest in the stock market, okay? Stay away from the stock market altogether. Now, I'm not giving you investment advice. I'm not saying sell off all your stocks or your mutual funds. I can't legally tell you to do that, right? What I am saying is that if you want to keep more money and not lose it, don't gamble away in the stock market where it might cost you more time and money to try to make up for those losses. Yes, over time, the stock market has always gone up. In fact, you look at any 20-year period, and they have to be 20-year period, it has always gone up, even if it just barely. But there's been 15-year periods or even 10-year periods where it didn't go up, okay? So yes, long-term it always goes up. But there's another cost that often is not mentioned called lost opportunity cost. Understand that if you were investing in 1999, you'd thrown all your money in the stock market, the market then tanked with Y2K, came back up a little bit, and then tanked with the Great Recession. Most people that I remember I was working with at that time, it was usually until at least 2013 or 14, and in many cases 2015 or 16, if someone just put money in there and let it sit, they finally made their money back by about 2015 or 16. Most people, because costs are coming out, there's all those advisory fees or market fees, or fund fees coming out of their retirement accounts. The problem is that it took them 15 years just to break even. That doesn't even count inflation that had already wiped all that out, and really they had half the buying power that they had before. Guys, don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught investing in the stock market. If you really, really, really want your retirement money to grow, you gotta be careful about putting your money in places where you could be losing a lot of money, which is the stock market. Now here's the third thing you could do, is keep adding money to it. One of the best and fastest ways to be able to get out of the rat race sooner, to be able to get to retirement faster and let your money really grow, is add more money to it. Like I said, if you don't lose money and you're not gambling it in the stock market, adding money is actually a great thing because you really see it grow. Now you might say, well, yeah, but Chris, I have to work hard to do that. That's true. But I'll tell you, those that keep adding more money to those accounts and then those accounts start working for them as well, it's doing double time work, right? It's like working two places at the same time, making it really accelerate much, much faster. I've had clients that we've taken on that maybe they didn't have the most money, saved up already like some of our clients did, but they had a lot of extra cash flow. In fact, if I were to give you a bonus tip, do this. Control your expenses. Don't live cheap. You don't have to be cheap, but really be mindful of your expenses. Track your money. Watch what's going on with your money at home so that you have more to put away. The more you can put away, the faster you can get out of the rat race. This one young couple, they're just in their mid-20s. They had about $100,000 or so invested, but they're able to save $6,000 or $7,000 a month because although they have great paying jobs, they're trying to keep their expenses lean, especially as they're starting to grow a new family. Guys, that's huge because if you can put away $70,000 a year on top of the $100,000 and you make 10% on that $70,000, you just made an extra $7,000 on top of that $70,000, right? So what that means is that I told them, I said, listen guys, in the first year between your $100,000 here and then adding $70,000, if we only made 10% on this money, that's $17,000 more, pushing you almost to $200,000 of total money that they have by year 2. And if they keep that going, that ball gets rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger. It's just like in the cartoons, you remember where like the little guys, starts tumbling down the mountain in the snow and the snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and it's like this huge massive ball. It's kind of the same thing. You create this big snowball effect of growing your money faster. Now that comes to number 4 point. If you focus on not losing money, you keep adding to it, you're not blowing it and losing it in the stock market. The thing is, people always say, yeah, but Chris, where do I invest my money? Where do I put it? If it's not in the stock market, where do I put it? Because I don't want to put it in the savings account. It doesn't make any money there. And the financial advisors keep pushing me to say, buy mutual funds, buy stocks, buy this. I recommend you buy something that financial advisors never recommend. And that's buying real assets. Real assets, not fake assets, like when you're trying to buy in the markets or you're buying with crypto and things like that, but real, true assets that have something to back them up. One, it makes sure you don't lose money, but two, they can actually make good passive income. So if you buy real assets that also pay you passive income, like real estate, watch out. This thing grows so fast, so hard, and it's amazing. I'll tell you from my own personal experience, 4 years ago, I bought a real estate property. It was just a simple rental. Now I bought it as a turnkey property. So I'm not managing it. I don't even know the name of the renters, okay? I don't even know who they are, but I know they keep paying every month and I love it. Well, that property has appreciated. That's been nice, but it's also paid me good cash flow. I put $32,000 into the down payment and the closing costs of that property. But my cash flow now, as it's built up, as we've raised rent over the years, is now almost $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. I'm now making about 18% cash on cash return on just my rent. That does include that they're paying down my mortgage for me, which builds up equity. Even if the property doesn't grow in value, I'm building equity because they're paying down my mortgage for me. I'm making that on top of it. And when there's appreciation, that's awesome too. So really in the last 4 years, 4.5 years, this property has made me over 300% rate of return. Now, disclaimer, market results may vary, investments vary, yada, yada, yada. You can lose your money. I get it, right? There's always risk. This is not guaranteed. And I'll admit, we had a good run with the real estate market. But even if I didn't have all that appreciation, guys, I still would have made over 100% in the last 4 years. Do the math, that's like a 25% a year average. You start to really add good numbers to this when you're buying real assets, something that you don't normally lose money in. And the next thing you know, this thing does great. So guys, as a recap, 1, don't lose your money. Make sure you're not gambling in the stock market, buy real assets, and then keep adding money to it, and you'll find that your money will grow much faster. Now, check out our next video. If you want to know how to never run out of money in retirement, that's your next step. Check that out.